What a beautiful voice, what a beautiful story. I couldn't find the tissues, so I'm a bit of a wreck right now. Well, we certainly don't want to leave Dad out of the equation. Sometimes we just want our fathers, right? Our next story offers a new perspective on the early days of parenting. Robert Shelton's misadventures in rookie parenting are told here in his charming tale. It didn't fall. Great. Mr. Mom.
The birthdays in my wife's family come all at once. First her father, then her sister, and finally my wife, Tara, are celebrated all in a row on the 16th, 17th, and 18th days of May. For years, I know this only as an odd coincidence, a simple piece of family lore. And then comes April, 1996. Tara is 7.5 months pregnant with our first child when her water breaks 6 weeks early on my birthday. It's scary, but it still feels like we're ready. We've been preparing. We have months of Lamaze training behind us. We can control our breathing fully and at will. Our copy of What to Expect When You're Expecting is so thoroughly dog-eared and back-folded, it looks like it's been run over by a car. And we've come up with our own childcare plan. We will each take turns. The fact that we both work at the same company makes this easier. One of us will work in the office while the other works at home, taking care of the baby. Then, after some weeks or months, we'll switch. Mom will take the first at-home stint. Mr. Mom will take the second. After a day spent at the hospital under observation, events begin in earnest. Contractions start. The baby's coming. Nurses call the doctor in and rush Tara to delivery. A moment later, I'm dressed in hospital scrubs and standing at her bedside trying to recall my Lamaze training while staying out of everybody's way. Tara pretends to follow my coaching and breathes through the contractions just as we had practiced. She really has it down. Clearly she could do this on her own. I wonder, could that Lamaze class have overstated my importance? 2 hours later, on the day after my birthday, Tara delivers Ben into this world. He'll need some extra care for being early, but he's healthy. It's a joyous moment. Mother, doctors, nurses, all of us excited by the successful arrival. Then the doctor turns and looks at me. You, he says, on the floor, now, head between your knees. From his tone and the dizzy feeling in my head, I deduce that my face has turned the same grim shade of green as my scrubs. I take a careful seat on the floor and lean my back against the wall's cold tile. A nurse carrying a juice box walks right on past the exhausted mother, cradling her newborn, and reaches down beside the wall to offer refreshment to the one who clearly needs it most. The bewildered and overwhelmed new dad. I blink, and it's June of 1997. It is way too hot for this early in the summer. Tara is 8.5 months pregnant with our second boy. We're taking turns at childcare as we'd planned. Tara has rotated back into the office and will continue working there right up until her due date. I've had a few months to settle into my shift at home as Mr. Mom. It's about midday, and I'm standing in line at Rochester Community Savings Bank, holding my 14-month-old son, Ben, upright in the crook of my left elbow. Impatience keeps my focus on the task at hand. I need to knock this one out fast so I can get back home well before nap time. If I get caught driving home too close to nap time, I risk Ben falling asleep in the car. If that happens, I will park at home and open the door to lift him from his car seat, and he will wake up, refreshed and ready for an afternoon of mischief. He won't go back to sleep, and the entire day will turn unmanageable. Today, that doesn't happen, though. The line moves quickly, and we're back at home with time to spare. After some lunch and a diaper change, he falls asleep on schedule. And now comes the frantic part. I clip the baby monitor to my belt and watch the clock as I run around for hours, putting the house in order. My hands and feet are more in charge than I am. I get most of it pretty close to done. Then I blink, and he's awake and happy, playing in his crib. We spend the afternoon's remainder reading tales of Babar and his crown. There's something fascinating about elephants that walk upright, wearing suits. I'm thinking that one over when the front door opens, and just like that, it's Mr. Mom's favorite time of day, the part where actual Mom comes home from work. For her, the joy of reuniting with her child. For me, the joy of speaking with a grown-up in complete and complex sentences. We settle into the traditional exchange of stories on the subject of how was your day. She's wearing a big, bright smile as she reaches down to pick Ben up. You seem happy, I say. Were you listening to the voicemail again? Yes, she says. I made Marcy and Patty and Denise all come stand at my desk and listen to it on speaker. The voicemail. It's the talk of the office, both as a form of entertainment and as the cause of a significant drop in employee productivity. Here's how it happened. A few weeks earlier, I'd been partway through a routine diaper change. After 100 or so of these, you tend to sail right through them. We unpaid professionals like to break them into phases. This one began, as always, with the deposition phase, wherein I would lay Ben face up onto a flat surface. From deposition, I proceeded directly to the discovery phase and began to open his diaper. It was during discovery that I recoiled and winced, making a face that made Ben laugh. It was a deep belly laugh, like he couldn't help himself. I set my work aside and made the face again. He laughed, just as before, but harder. He seemed to raise the volume with each repetition, so of course I just kept doing it. This went on so long that I had time to grab the cordless phone off the wall and call Tara's desk at work, leaving her a minutes-long voicemail message of our son laughing himself, absolutely silly. Oh my God, that giggling is too much, she says. It completely ruined my afternoon for work. I'm glad, and you're welcome, I say. Did you get out of the house much today? Yep, a couple of times. A morning walk with the umbrella stroller, the dog got some exercise, and we went to the bank. You took the dog to the bank? No, just Ben. Across the room, our son is reading Babar, sitting bare-chested in the summer heat. Tara's got excitement in her voice. Hey, what did you dress him in? Sorry? When you went out, did you put him in that onesie? Which onesie? You know, the cute one, that yellow one with Winnie the Pooh on it? Oh, right, I answer. No, that one's in the laundry. I hung it outside to dry during his nap. She runs through the alternatives. Well, that shirt your father got him doesn't match his clean pants. Did you take him in his jammies? No. Now she's getting it. And from the dismay I'm reading on her face, I'm beginning to get it too. We are on the same page. She has figured out that I took our son into a public place dressed in whatever he had on the moment I decided to perform this errand, which in this case was a diaper. And I have figured out that that sort of expedient execution, while it may have the virtue of efficiency, it lacks other equally important virtues. There's not much that could save me now. And since she's already had my job, since she's already done the work of primary caregiver herself, there is no earthly need for me to explain to her how difficult it can be. She already knows firsthand. And yet here I go. Well, there's a lot to juggle and it's hot out, and they close at 3, which is right in the middle of his nap time, so I had to get there and back pretty fast because you have to stick to that, the nap time, or you'll never get any work done. When it comes to the laundry, you just have to be ruthless, not give an inch, or it'll take over the whole house. And I already skipped breakfast so I could get this other stuff done, and we're at the end of the month now, so I've only got a couple more chances to get the car inspected, and this is going to get a whole lot tougher, when his little brother comes along. I'd hang my head in shame, but there's no need to. We each know how the other feels because we've each been there, which is perhaps the greatest power of our taking turns at childcare. I look at Ben standing bow-legged in his diaper and remember all the things that changed once crawling ceased to be his only mode of transport. I had just figured out how to manage him when he went and learned a new trick. In 3 more weeks, his brother will arrive. But by then, Tara and I will switch roles again, so I'm not worried. Things will get taken care of and done right for a change. Mr. Mom's shift will be over. I will rotate out. Mom will be in charge.